But the way Twitch thinks about streaming and thinks about content creation, this is just streamers as a whole now. The way Twitch streamers think about content, chat, I'm telling you right now, is so different from how the rest of the content world thinks about creating content. And I experienced this firsthand trying to be a Twitch streamer myself. Like, if you told me 5 years ago it would even be attractive for me to stream 4 or 5 times a week, streaming for 4 to 5 hours plus each, I would have called myself crazy. You know what I'm saying? Creating this type of this medium of content where there's so much dead space. Like, I come from a content world where you cut out the dead space. You know what I'm saying? You cut out the dead space. You cut out the fluff. It's bad to leave fluff in. But here comes this content medium where there's so much silence. There's so much dead space. There's so much, like, non-content going on. You know what I'm saying? And I think ultimately that's going to be the downfall of a lot of these Twitch streamers that don't come from YouTube, is that they don't really know how to make content for real. I know that's a whole different tangent now. I'm not even putting that on Zoe. But these aspiring Twitch streamers that want to make Twitch their main thing and don't want to grow anywhere else before they dive into Twitch streaming, I think that's going to be their main downfall, bro. They don't know how to create content for real, outside of the scope of being entertaining on stream. Do you think a lot of people fall into streaming because they can't create? Good question, oh Meezy. I think partially. I think a big part of it is, again, this notion that it's the wave. You know, when being a YouTuber was the wave, everyone wanted to be a YouTuber. When TikTok was the wave, everyone wanted to be a TikToker. But now that Twitch streaming has become extremely popular, it's the thing that people want to go to because it's the meta. Like, certain streamers have literally said this. It's the meta to be a streamer now. When it's not. Well, it is, but that's that like one set track mindset that I'm talking about. But also, a part of it is that a lot of creators want to have the success of content creation without actually knowing how to create content. So what do I mean by that? When you stream, it is actually the lowest barrier to entry when it comes to creating content. Because just by hitting go live, you are technically already creating content. You don't have to plan out a video. You don't have to record multiple takes. You don't have to learn how to edit. You don't have to learn how to be a designer. You do have to learn how to market yourself, but that's also a part of being a YouTuber, learning how to market yourself. You creating the content is literally hitting go live. And if you stream for 4 to 5 hours, you get the sense of like, oh, I just created content for 4 to 5 hours. When in reality, out of those 4 to 5 hours, the actual content creation that you did, to be honest with you, was probably only 30 minutes. Like, I'm going to keep it a whole stack. The actual effort that you put in, probably 30, 40 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Square peg into a round hole. Some of these people are short form creators but are forcing the streams. You just wasted your time for real. Hey, man. And the crazy part is that a lot of the biggest streamers in the world, they just didn't start off with streaming, like full stop. They didn't start off with streaming. They built their platform somewhere else so that when they got into streaming, they had like a solid base, a solid foundation, and then expanded out. You know what I'm saying? I think the reason why Kai has been such a successful content creator, successful streamer, I think the reason why Kai specifically has become such a successful streamer is because of the fact that he came from YouTube and took all the practices from YouTube onto Twitch. The reason why Agent has succeeded on Twitch is because he understood what it took to grow on YouTube and took those practices onto Twitch. I think it's also a reason why the older generation of streamers have had a tough time adjusting to the new age streamer, is because a lot of them, again, they don't know how to create content. They don't know how to create content. And they had to have like a really big learning curve of how to repurpose their content, how to become more entertaining on content, especially as like they became more game reliant. Like, I think that's a part of like why Ninja started hating on this new generation. And he, you know, I've seen some of the podcasts with him. I think a lot of it is like misconstrued points with him, so I'll give him that. But I think it's his notion of like streaming to him used to be this one thing, and then it became this next thing, and he just wasn't ready to adapt with the times. So now he's kind of attributing it to just like, the space is changing and it's just not for me. It's just not for me. I think honestly, we're seeing a shift right now, even with the new generation. Even with the new generation. I think I always bring this up, bro. I always bring this up. And this was a couple years ago. Bruce was on a call. Phantom talked to Bruce. Like, he shared the story on the stream, where Bruce was like, damn, streaming used to be this one thing. It used to be desktop streams. It used to be chilling with your community. It used to be gaming, all of that. And then what it's become, I just don't fuck with. And then he stopped streaming. He fell off. And now here we are. But I think a lot of streamers that have blown up over these last couple of years, now that IRL streaming is a big part of the meta, they're having trouble adjusting. They're having trouble adjusting because for years, they relied on reactions, right? For years, they relied on reactions. For years, they relied on just having a guest on. For years, they relied on Reddit reactions, E-dates, GTA 5 RP. And now that the meta is getting off your feet, touching grass and going outside, some of these motherfuckers just aren't ready for that pivot. And now they're being left behind. Some people are taking advantage of it. Some people aren't, So it's crazy when you see so many meta changes in such a short time. You would think people would stay away. The IRL space is turning into vlog era just live. I had that take a year ago. I think IRL streaming is just the new age vlog. And that's a part of... Because I think a lot of people really want to be vloggers, but again, don't want to make the time or take the time to know how to edit and record for it, which I low-key get as well. Like, I think a lot of us want to get into content creation, not to learn how to edit, not how to make thumbnails, but to really be a creator. But yeah, I think IRL streaming is just the new era of vlogging, but I think it's a lazier form of vlogging, a much lazier form of vlogging. Like, I'm sorry, shout out to Speed. Don't even, like, and I know this is an extreme. A Speed stream to a Casey Neistat vlog, come on, bro, we gotta stop. We gotta stop from a production level. We gotta stop. Let alone the other, like, at least when Speed goes live, he's only live for 2 hours and he's moving. He's really like going about doing events and shit. But a lot of these IRL streamers, I'm telling you right now, bro, the literal differentiation between them and everyone else is literally just them being outside. That's it. They go outside, it's scenery that a typical streaming audience isn't used to, because a typical streaming audience is used to motherfuckers at their desk, like myself right now. So them just being outside, like literally sitting, you know what I'm saying? Literally sitting on top of grass, on their phone, reading chat. is the oh yo, this is crazy content. Yo, this is wild. Whoa, this is unseen territory. That's how I think that's how new the streaming space is still, chat. I'm being so serious, and that's why a lot of people are high on it right now, is because it's still so new. There's still a lot of space to grow, where things that worked on YouTube in the early days, you just have to apply that to a stream, and you got yourself a banger stream. You know what I'm saying? Even the React meta. React videos were already a thing. Take that onto the live, and boom, that's a whole new type of content. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole new type of content. So now we're in this phase where vlogging, like vlogging era, we'll just take that over to YouTube. We'll just take that over to live streaming. There's gonna be a point where you are gonna see live streams very similar to like a Mr. Beast video. I'm being so serious. Like you will see a live stream that will give the feeling of a Mr. Beast production, and it'll be the meta. It'll be the meta. We're low key already seeing it, the transition with event based streaming becoming a bigger thing, with Kai hosting these big events, with NBA production behind it. We're already honestly seeing it. It's only a matter of time. I'm telling you. I think we're gonna live in a there's gonna be a time period, chat, in my opinion, where streams are actually gonna become shorter, but they're literally gonna be like when like a Netflix episode premieres. There's gonna be a streamer out there that's gonna have extremely high production value. They're gonna stream for an hour. Within that hour, you're gonna get the highest quality content. You're gonna get peaks that are crazy because it's, content that you can't miss. And that's gonna be that. That's gonna be the meta of streaming. I think, again, a lot of this is just a cycle. Like low key, a YouTube premiere is already that. Low key. When someone, I think the next wave is someone making a YouTube premiere to just a regular live stream. And that's going to be that. Harrison Barnes just hit a game winner on the Warriors. God damn, that's tough. That's tough. But, I don't know where I went with that rabbit hole. Definitely just yapped it up.